e-gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Starladder iLeague Star Series Season 3. We are going into our first match of the day, and when I say we, of course, I have just Harry joining me. How are you doing?
You know what, Tom? I'm doing very good. I'm very much looking forward to seeing these two teams going head-to-head. You know what? Coming into it, I'm not going to lie, more looking forward to our second game, but I've seen a lot of iGame play because they're currently performing in ESCA Premier under LGB. Don't know why their names change, but I think it's something to do with gambling laws or something like that, or maybe that's just the name they had it registered under, but who knows? Anyway, the point is it's still iGame. I've seen a lot of them performing in ESCA Premier. I'm sure a lot of the viewers have as well, and they've been kind of a team that have been doing surprisingly well, considering the kind of caliber of teams that we have performing in Premier this season. So I'm very much excited to see what they can bring to the table. You got Juho and stuff who I love. I think he's fantastic. And then they're up against Tengri. Now, they're kind of a team that I haven't seen as much from, but at the same time, they look very promising. Of course, you're going to be looking. I mean, I would say Ramzik's probably the one to keep an eye on, but I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I have my two players I want to watch. I'm sure you have your two players, Tom. Do you want to...
I was going to go a different direction. Before we go into players, obviously we do have the match coming up, I think, very, very shortly. So I actually want to go into the veto. I'll talk about like a few players.
Okay, yeah.
I like the look of in the middle. But I am going to hopefully going to bring the map picks up. Obviously, my amazing skills of production value have already been tested today when I couldn't work out why everything was broken. And it turns out that I was using the wrong resolution. So it's been a good start. I wasn't stressing or restarting my PC, and that was not why the... stream is a little bit late. But either way, we have, of course, the bans come in. Now, not overly surprised by some of the picks that come in, like Train, Cobble, Overpass. We're not seeing the sort of nukes and infernos that we've seen so far. These teams do like to stick to these sort of more tactically based maps. The maps such as, like Train, where you need a lot of team symmetry. Obviously, both of these teams... Well, I'd say both these teams. iGame have been together for quite a while, although I think Juho was actually one of the ones that... Officially, I don't know if he's in the roster. Like on HLTV, he's not, but he has sort of been in the team for a little while. He was there when they played at WSG, and they did very, very well in groups. They actually topped the group, so it wasn't something to really frown upon. It was like, okay, these guys are here to play. Tengri, as you said, like I'm not too sure what to expect from this one. Obviously, we've got the lights of Hobbit out of this team, so we're very thankful for them for that. But other than that, since then, they brought in a couple of other players. Things have switched around a little bit. It's not quite the same team. And a lot of this, we don't really know what to expect going into this. Of course, first map is going to be Train. And I'm not so sure about this. So this is sort of where, like, you go to the sort of both of these teams' history. You could talk about the idea that in terms of Train, this has been a very, very strong map for iGame. I think online, at least, they're 12-3. They've beaten teams like Vici Cyberzen, pretty good at Train, beat them 16-1. So, very, very strong map for them. On the other side of things, as said, they've recently switched things around. They're not particularly strong on Train. I think their record's 4-4, not anything to frown upon, but not anything to go, wow, they're going to come into this one strong. But then again, they've got the same record over on Train, so...
Yeah, I mean, I think the real issue that we are going to see coming into this is just, almost the difference in the deepness of each of these teams' map pool. Coming into iGame do have the better map pool, definitely. Train is one they are exceptionally good on. I feel like maybe for that to have been allowed in through the vetoes might be a bit of an error. I mean, it's not one that Tengri are weak on by any means, but it is one they're a lot more kind of 50-50 on. It does depend on the team they're playing up against a lot more. It's not really one they're strong on. it's not so much one that they're kind of, really weak on. Of course, we did see them just kind of go towards one of their more insta-bans, right? They had to get rid of Nuke. It's a map that they're not good on. And that's the issue, right? iGame aren't terrible on Nuke, so it's one that they immediately know they have to get rid of, unlike Train, where they are kind of average. But these vetoes definitely do lean the way of iGame, I feel. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if we see this go 2-0 just based on the vetoes. I think we are going to have to see a fairly standout performance from Tengri, because Cobble being our second map is one that's going to, kind of be, I would say, almost more in favor of iGame. They've had a very good performance. I mean, Tengri have had looked strong on it as well. But, I mean, there's a lot kind of up in the air. There's been a few changes and whatnot on these teams lately. And, we've also seen that iGame have been performing exceptionally well. But, I mean, like I say, I haven't seen too much of Tengri, just the occasional game here and there. So I'm going to be excited to see kind of, are they hitting their shots? Are they up to the standard that iGame have been in, because they have just had more games to play as of late.
Yeah, I do think their group is one, again, like, I think Group C is definitely the one I sort of look towards when I'm saying, hey, do you know what? I think that's going to be a tough group. Same with Group D. This one I do feel is a little bit more open. I can bring that up on the screen just a minute. I've also brought up the betting statistics. That's where EGB come into play, and they have pretty much shown us that most of the fans out there, at least, are going for the Finnish team. Obviously, not quite easy friends, but they are game. They're here to play, I'm still here with my bad jokes, just in case you're wondering. Oh, looks like we lost Harry for a second. Is he
No.
MIA?
I'm all good. I was just, having a little drink before we get into this, and the timing couldn't have been worse. But yeah, Knife Round going to be underway as we head into this, of course. For those of you who aren't aware of the format, for those of you who are new to this, the Knife Round will decide what side you start on, be it CT or T side. Train's kind of one that you maybe want to get that CT side start on, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. No one ever casts the Knife Round unless your name is the Scrawny Gamer. And there we go. It is going to be iGame picking that one up. As such, I imagine we're going to see them swap things around and go over to the CT side, but sometimes we do see them go for a bit of a mind game play and stay on that T side now, but they are just going to look for the strong start. And I mean, that's going to be worth its weight in gold almost for iGame. They can get into the heads of Tengri early on by starting on the more favored side, really try to put in just a significant round difference and slow them down. And that's usually the kind of idea behind it. Start strong and then continue as you mean to go on.
Yeah, there have been a few teams recently as well that have sort of started to show us a little bit more of the T side of this map, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it. I think like teams like Virtus Pro have just basically come and said, hey, you know what, everybody's got so good at this CT side, everybody's used to getting the higher rounds. We're going to switch things up a little bit. We're going to show you how it's done over on that T side, and especially against weaker teams, like where maybe the symmetry's not quite there, you can definitely see some T-sided halves of this map. So definitely looking to see mainly what iGame have to offer on this CT side. Obviously, if they do let too many rounds go, Tengri are just going to go into that second half very, very confident. But either way, we are into our lovely pistol round, and we're actually going to have quite a lot of presence over towards Ivy at the moment from the T side.
Yeah, they've gone for a very interesting split. No one in through A main. Instead, they're going to be sending 2 players over towards top, 3 down at Ivy. And while Duo's going to face the might of these 3 Tengri players very early, I'm going to be tagged down rather low on the back of that. And now, of course, that smoke going to go down will delay the push for the time being. You can see the guys in pop. I'm going to be pushing through just yet, but they make the call to go ahead and do it. They are going to pay the price for this early on as doesn't allow it to be picking up 1. Going to be put back into a 3 on foot 3 though, as it's going to be quickly equalized out by 7. On the players pushing in through pop. They do manage to make their way through Ivy, though, turning it into a 2-on-2, but bombs down over at B. That's going to cause some serious issues. Now the 2 remaining players for Tengri have to come in for the retake.
Yeah, Ramsick has actually managed to get himself a USP, so the range will at least be there for him. But it's not the best positioning of the bomb either, especially with X7 able to spot out a couple of players and definitely going to make things a little bit more difficult. He's also managed to pick himself up a Molotov, which probably would have been used for after plants, but instead it's just going to be used to slow them down even more, and they are taking a lot of damage. But Ramsick, he has other ideas. Manages to pick up 1. Zori is ready and waiting. Will he be able to stop? He's going to drop the bomb again. Make things so much more difficult for SNK, and, well, he just seems to have the upper ground, the high ground. And at the moment, SNK can't really do anything right until the depth. Okay. Just hits the instant headshot, and, well, Tengri, they scrape a pistol round.
Yeah, it was by the skin of their teeth. But, I mean, still, iGame one that really could have, I would argue, threw that away even more. You know, Tengri did a nice job of coming back into that. SNK just kind of hitting his shots there at the end, the only detriment, and then picking that up. Now we honestly see iGame just force buying down as you would expect over on the CT side, trying to deny and steal this anti-eco out from underneath Tengri's feet. We can see some early aggression over towards B this time. They do send a player in through A main as well just to watch for the aggression there. It's a fairly standard strategy where they're just spreading out, trying to grab map control. Don't want to allow iGame to go aggressively anywhere on the map, and you know, they're not going to give it to the middle. Fairness, they do take things slowly. Smoke's going to go down over towards B. That will delay that push for the time being, as there's many players are stuck up towards box halls. And well, they're watching the aggression, just taking things very slowly here. Minute and 15 left. They're not under any pressure to try and go quickly. They can afford to take their time, and that's exactly what you want to do up against these pistols. You don't want to allow iGame to work their way into any crevices, get behind you in any way. So as a result, they are just going to be taking things slowly. Looking like it will be a B hit, though. You have 3 players over towards here, including that bomb. iGame have a very good read on this, though. They've got 3 players here in themselves. And, well, that bomb now looking like it might want to rotate on off. I mean, they haven't got a lot of information. That's the only downside to taking this passive play, and that could come back to influence this take.
Yeah, the thing is as well, normally when you have that like lovely little MAC-10, you use that guy as the info player. Well, Ramzik has 12 HP at the moment, so he can't really do too much of that. And as you said, they really haven't found out anything. They're still just holding, waiting for these CT players to go aggressive. They're just not going to do it. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. Yes, some information would be nice, but if this push comes in over towards the B side, they've already got 3 players waiting, and, well, here comes that push. Already Dink hit, a lot of damage done early on. 20 seconds left on the clock. Another comes in for X7. Make that one more, and this is a ridiculous round. Who's the one with the better buy, you say? I don't think it's the T side anymore.
Yeah, it's all on Pachanga at 1v5. He's got to try and come in from that A side. At this point, it wouldn't surprise me if he just tries to save. I mean, no time left. I mean, obviously, there's no time left, but even if we saw him kind of have like 30, 40 seconds at his disposal, save would have definitely been on the cards. And it's going to be iGame. They swiftly return things back with that force. Ultimately, that very, very passive play coming in from Tengri is going to come back to punish them. And as a result of taking things so incredibly slowly, they don't get information, and they end up walking into that stack over towards B. And now they're going to be forced buying down themselves, trying to buy up behind the UMP. Can see a couple of deagles in place, so they can take these long-range engagements a little bit faster as well. 3 players over towards Ivy. They send one straight out through A main. It looks like it's just going to be a standard A split, but Geo able to find out first. The smoke's going to go down to delay the push even more. They do get that return. Now it's Saw in a very bad position. He's going to be able to find one. Is tagged down to 9 HP, and there should be one for Ramzik to land around the corner. Going to get the first. Looking for a second. Oh, he's going to get it. He's going huge with the deagle right now. He's on 3 frags. And he's still in a position to do that much more damage. Tags down Zori as well. As 7 has already find themselves locked in this 1v2. Bomb's going to be down in the middle of sight. And Ramzik has to try and peek out to get it. And I think 7 is going to be in the position to deal with him here.
He's actually got an ump as well. Not using it at the moment. He could just go for these SMG shots, and we know how powerful that weapon can actually be. He's completely surrounded at this point, but doesn't know where the second player actually is. So does have to be a little bit careful. He's actually on the top of the train. Once he's spotted, this should be very, very easy for X7 to clean up. But it's still looking like they have lost 2 AKs from this position. Obviously, they picked both of them up in the previous round, so it's not the end of the world. But there's still some economy, some cost at least. But Tengri were trying to win that round, and unfortunately, they're unable to.
Yeah, unable to bounce back. I mean, it was a nice attempt from Ramzik. He was kind of the guy I said that I would keep my eyes on. And yeah, so far he hasn't disappointed. 3 frags into that round. It's going to get taken down there at the end. Now Tengri, they're going to go for a fast B. This is normally a fairly good idea, as you can usually get that bomb down. You can see Ramzik's got a Tech 9 to play around with as a result of getting so many not SMG frags, Deagle frags predominantly in that last round. Does allow him to finance a bit of a buy. They should be able to get the bomb down. That's what this B site is for, is just for the slam dunk in through and get that bomb down for the extra $800 plant bonus. You see Molotov going down to force these players out, and Sagan's gonna get one. Looking for a second, he's gonna be able to pick that one up, and they're just denying this push. It's all on Ramzik. 1v5 once again. Gonna find himself on the ropes. And I don't see him being able to do too much into this one now, Tom.
I'd hope not for the CT side's sake. They had a very, very good read going into this one and just basically made sure, okay, we know that the likelihood is they're not going to have much money. What's the best way to make money? Get a bomb plant? Well, let's just send a couple of players and have a third in connector so that if they try and go for this aggressive push, we're ready and waiting. And they shut it down perfectly. Flawless round as well from iGame, so a nice economy booster. X7 already on 10 grand and we're only in round 5, so very, very happy for their start. And now at least we will see a buyer coming back in, but without that bomb plant, as you can see, they're not going to have full utility. There's not going to be an opportunity for an AWP, and the buy is not particularly good, but they do at least have 5 smokes.
Yeah, that will open up some possibilities out towards this A site. You can already see a smoke's gone down, and that's going to disallow Saw if he was on that AWP to find too much. But never mind, actually, he's going to get one anyway. Sees that smoke and says, you know what? I could do you one better. Just find a kill straight through it. Now Sonic trying to refrag, has pushed on out from Pop Dog. Everyone from Tengri just teaming in towards this A site. The rotate's already fully underway as there's 4 players right now for iGame here. Joe to find one. Saw's up in towards heaven. He's going to be looking for a frag. Does deal with Ramzik. That's going to leave it out at 2-on-4. This is looking like iGame should be able to take this round fairly convincingly. Saying that though, SNK wants to do something about it. But not going to be enough as he does get 2 frags. Juho on the flank to deal with him. Going to take iGame to that 4th round, continuing to build up money on that CT side. 7's just going to be dropping. I mean, he's got, you know, he had 12 grand. Now he's going to be on 9, but still, that CT side economy already looking so incredibly strong. And it looks to get even stronger here as Tengri. They've got to go for another eco once again.
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty down in the dumps at the moment after the way that that second round went. And, well, their first buy round, not particularly good either. They get themselves towards the site, but just get shut down by individual plays. Saw straight through the smoke. Well, starting things off, and that's not going to help them out anymore. Either way, we are going to see, again, just one player over towards this B site. X7 playing the sort of catalyst role. They do have players relatively close on A that could rotate quickly, and in fact, after no early aggression, it does look like they are going to rotate someone over in the form of Zori with the scout. I think they're just starting to predict what the T side do. If there's a little bit of delay, they're expecting it to be more of a B hit after the fast rounds that came in previously, but they haven't quite read this one right. It's going to be the majority, or everybody, in fact, just pushing out, except one over towards this B side, and that's going to be SNK.
Doesn't matter, though, when Juho's landing shots like that. Gets a nice one-tap down range. It can hit him for a second. Going to be able to deal with Pachanga as well. Now Sackerton, he's pushed up close. He's on the flank through the smoke. Going to find one. Switch things out to the P2K. Can't quite connect that next headshot as SNK able to dispatch him. And oh, there's Juho once again. That's going to be him on the old baby, a triple. As he dispatches of the lone Tengri player. That's going to allow our game to reach 5 rounds now. They are accumulating a lot of money over on the CT side, and as is any of you guys who bet on iGame potentially, as they're onto it. You know, accumulator betting, it just seemed like an obvious link, but maybe the joke isn't quite ready for that yet. Who knows? As we enter this, Tengri this time looking to try and switch things up. They have been quite predictable, like you say. You can really see iGame trying to figure them out. Whenever they take things slowly, normally that insinuates a bit of a B play. That round did look to change things up. They tried going for the fake. Didn't really work out for them though. And this time they have just gone for a much slower play, being a little bit more methodical. You got 2 players over towards Pop, 2 down at Ivy, and a lone B player. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see another fake coming out here potentially. But already, Saw, he's gone aggressive, and he's a huge threat. He does good damage, but Pachang actually checks the angle and lands that nice one-tap to dispatch of that lone lurking iGame player.
Yeah, he's now on the board as well. I was going to say there were 3 players without any kills at the beginning of this round for the Tengri side, and no matter how good Ramzik can do in these sort of early round scenarios, it makes no difference if no one else is getting anything on the board. So they've got that first kill. Saw a little bit unlucky, but just incredible shot to actually turn around and actually get him all the way from behind. Does give them a little bit of information, but actually the majority of the push is now building up over towards this B site. There's only one man here. X7 is completely unaware of the position of Sonic up until that second, and then he re-jumps. That was a little bit questionable. Sonic going to be able to make his way onto the site, aggressively taking control. And the remaining players here, they're going to have to find something pretty quickly. It's a very retakeable site. And luckily for them, there is nobody watching the flank. This is 2 free kills.
Oh, and there's Pachanga once again, the lurk killer. As he does deal with Sagaton there, who was on the the flank in behind. It's going to be a 2-on-3, and already you can see iGame, they've fallen on back, looking to try and save. Interesting decision from them, actually, to go for the save here, Tom. I mean, you know, they have the utility, they have the defuse kits. They're only at this one-man disadvantage. There was plenty of time left as well. It's not like they're short on money. What do you think the decision was behind this this save? Just playing it safe?
I think if SGT didn't go down, I think they would have gone for it, because then it would have been an even scenario. I think it's just that the other two players had already sort of gone in a position where they go, okay, let's maybe save our weapons because it's 5 versus 3. We don't want to just throw money away. And then their teammate gets 2 kills, and by that point, they're too far away to actually make too much of a difference. I don't mind it. I think it's a good way of actually just keeping your economy going. If you're confident in your buys, it's fine. But it's sort of like, if you're going to save, maybe all of you save, and the one player that sort of just ran in and... yes, he gets 2 kills, but I don't see why one would not save and then 2 would save. It seems weird. Either way, very, very fast round coming out at the moment from the T side. Zori, he's going to spot the arm though. Fitch is down and out already, and we're only a few seconds in. SGT, well, that's an easy frag for him as well.
Yep, Ramsey quick on the return. Actually going to be picking up the AWP this time, and does dispatch of that CT side AWP. Zori's going to be biting the dust early on, and the rotate's already underway. Tengri, they're in a fairly good spot. They can afford to rotate on back. They might be a man down, but still they haven't committed fully out towards this A side just yet. As the mollies come raining on in, that is going to force their hand back through A main. SNK going to be going out for this peak. Sagaton's in a good position to deal with him. And oh, that smoke fades at the worst time. He's going to go down. Luck not going to be going his way. Ramzik going to be fully flashed by Saw, who's still playing this same aggressive position that netted him that frag early on. Not, sorry, Sagaton the frag early on. And now Ramzik and Pachang, they find themselves in this 2 versus 4 scenario. They're going to be trying to switch things up, head back over towards A. They do leave Ramzik to head out here over towards the A side of the bomb, slowly but surely pushing over towards Pop Dog. And oh, there goes Ramzik. Just picks his little face over the top of the ladder and has that removed swiftly by Saw.
Yeah, decent positioning from him. He should be easily caught out, but Sagaton is there to quickly trade. And another good round coming out from the CT side. This aggression seems to work wonderfully for them, just taking the challenge and clearly winning most of these duels. The problem with this is we talk about this sort of one-and-done mentality for Tengri, and now they're going to be in a position where, yeah, they can invest a few pistols, but ultimately they're only getting 1,900. They've actually bought quite a bit, considering. Now, you have to look at some of the players. 1,600 onto Fitch. What can he realistically buy in the next round with only an extra, what, 1,900? It's not even going to be enough for an AK and armor.
Still like they're going to be stacking up down towards Ivy. Perhaps regretting the economic decision, like you say. Who knows? 4 players here to try and push in early on. Smoke's going to be down to hold them back for the time being. Well, they have got SNK as well to make his way out through A main. Does have the Deagle. Still, I mean, they're going to be relying on getting this bomb plant. They have to find these entries in towards the A side. They don't really have enough money to go for the buy next round anyway. If they can, it will be a very, very bad buy. It sounds like I'm I don't know, maybe Australian trying to say bad boy. When you say bad boy, it's going to be a bad boy, mate. But here we go. Push coming away. 4 players out through Ivy. I'm no sponge. But speaking of sponge, look at Tengri as they soak up these bullets over towards Ivy. Oh, Sagaton going to be on 2 as well. SNK now the lone survivor for Tengri, and even his time is limited on this earth as he gets dispatched by Juho for the triple kill there. That's going to be iGame picking up their 7th round. Tengri trailing behind on 2. They will be able to buy on down. There will be a few AKs in play. They do get the AWP as well, so they actually a little bit more than I think you thought they were going to have, Tom.
I think he didn't buy head armor. That's why he's managed to get an AK on the board. So he's even more vulnerable versus these M4s, especially with the silenced as well, because it means literally 1 bullet. That's very, very easy to just hit, just tapping away. So he's going to have to be very, very careful. Ramzik already naded down to just 28 HP. That's going to make things so much worse for him. And I think the scariest thing at the moment about iGame is they're so good at dealing with these anti-eco rounds. They are so good at just keeping those rounds clean that, yeah, maybe they can lose a couple in the buy round. Still get away. How does he get that kill?
Well, you see, There's a little bit of an internal feud between Pachanga and Ramzik. He just lets him dispatch of that player, putting it into a 4-on-4 now. Finally, he's going to get that trade. Like you say, though, even things like that, that's why iGame are coming out ahead, right? They are going to be a man down. That's going to favor the T side, but still, it is a frag that never should have been. It should have been the man advantage here for Tengri. Instead, they find themselves locked in this 4-on-4, the eternal struggle. And now that we're heading in towards B, we haven't seen them just all out dedicate 4 players over towards this site. I say 4 because they don't have 5. Ramzik, sadly, rest in peace. His beautiful little soul has departed us. Sagerton going to be on the flank, though, pushing into remain, and this could completely ruin this B-side take. Fitch, though, over towards the... Rafton's able to find that one under 7. No trade to come through just yet, as Source playing this very passively, finally going to go for the peak, able to get 1. Sonic there to trade things back into the man advantage there for Tengri, Saw and Sagerton, and Sagerton's on that flank now. Are they going to be ready for it? You can see they've got a player to try and watch out for this. Pachang's on the other side of that smoke, Saw able to dispatch of Sonic as well. But there's Pachang. Finds Sagerton. The smoke was still up. Don't even know how he landed that shot. It's all going to be on Saw 1v2. He is going to be trying to go for it, though. No passive save like we saw last time around. He doesn't have a smoke for the defuse, and that's going to come back to bite him later on if he goes for this, and he's just going to be falling on back, looking to save. Finds S&K, but that is going to be it. Pachangas with the refrag. Can't quite connect it. They both save orbs. And that's going to be a 3rd round now for Tengri.
Yeah, it's still not bad, though, overall. So, like, yes, they get a round, but it's straight back to that position once again, where if they lose this round, iGame are just going to be pushing straight back at them and resetting them all the way down in economy sense. So, it's not over yet. Tengri, they need to get this next round. Now, obviously, teams can definitely pull out ridiculous CT halves, so I don't have any problem with the sort of idea of, okay, maybe they're playing it a little bit close to the line. Ooh, that was pretty close. I don't know how far you can actually wallbang through that, but that was very, very close, looking like it was on point. In fact, Zori did actually take 4 damage, but I'm hoping that was from a nade and not from that AWP spam. Either way, Fly going to be back on the board for the CT side. No problems in terms of their economy as of yet. In the next round, they've still got Zori with $10,000 in the bank, plus whatever they will get from either the win or the loss, so shouldn't be in too much problems either way. Tengri, on the other hand, as said, 1,000 is the maximum money that they currently have in the bank. And I'm not expecting too much if they don't manage to win this round. Either way, so far edging their way over towards that B site, but still with a little bit of a split with the rest of the players. Does seem like we're now going to see Ramzik rotate over as well, so a lot coming the way of X7 and, of course, Zori. Now, they've been relatively quiet so far. It definitely does look like the B site has been the weaker of the 2 so far. So maybe this could be the correct decision, but they're actually switching a couple of players over towards Pop Dog, so maybe the decision has not yet been made.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I mean, they had success on B. Normally when we kind of see these teams that have had a shaky start, when they find a site that works, they're just going to keep hitting that, right? They just keep going back for more until it stops providing the goods. And, well, it looks like B is going to be the site in question. You can see 7's here alone on the site. He's not able to find anything as Tengri entries onto him. So Zori coming on in, able to find 1, finds himself a 2nd. He's been fairly quiet on the AWP thus far, but he's looking to try and change that as he makes a very bold statement in towards the B site, and that is that he's going to be able to deal with any of these players that make their way on through. Sonic next to full, he was the player on the site. Oh, in the blink of an eye, iGame going to be able to deal with everyone that was locking down that site for Tengri. It was a 3-on-4, quickly turning into 4 players surviving there for iGame. They only lose 7 who died in that initial take. Of course, the one limitation of that B site is the second you kind of lose that player playing up close, the bomb is going to go down. But that is really the only victory that Tengri can take from that. And even with the bomb plant, they don't have enough money to be buying. And once again, Tom, we're going to see them at the mercy of a bad economy here.
Yeah, I think the difference between the round that they actually managed to win and the round that they lost was just that they were so aggressive on the round that they actually managed to win. They took full control all the way down to the back of the B site, and then when the rotations came in, they were just ready for it. This time, they only managed to isolate the one player close, as you said, but then the AWPer at the back was just still firing shots away, so they didn't challenge, they didn't try and take him down, and the rotation was so very quick from iGame that then it was just trying to hold from further back positions. This round, Pistols trying their best. Fitch will actually manage to take someone down, maybe at least do a little bit more damage than they have prior. 2 kills is not too bad, but it's still not going to do any damage really to the iGame economy. As you can see, there's still plenty of cash And now, well, Tengri, they are going to have a buy, but they're not going to have that trusty AWP in the hand of Ramzik. But if I'm honest, since he's had it in hand, he's actually been a little bit more quiet. I think he did most of his damage with the Deeg.
Yeah, I know. It is funny you should say that. And, you know, sometimes we kind of see these teams, they do play better when they're on the pistols, when they're in that vulnerable situation, because they play like they have nothing to lose, right? It's just sheer aggression. And, well, sheer aggression early on, going to get punished this time around is... You do see Sagerton fall through, trade back comes through quickly, and actually it's going to end up in the advantage of Tengri here as the Kazakhstan team now look to push out in towards the A site. Sonic able to find himself another now into one. Juho and 7 to lock this down. Juho tagged down. Lemon's going to get one and a Fitch, putting it back into a 2-on-2. He equalizes things out. 7 up close and personal on the site, able to dispatch of Sonic now into one. SNK 1v2. He spots out 7. He knows that one of these players are the crossfire. Isn't going to be looking too great here from Juho, but he is still in a position where he can hopefully trade out with 7. SNK. That bomb isn't going to be in a very great place for him whatsoever. He has to try and exit the A site if he wants to go back for it. I know. Well, 7's going to be watching out for that. He might be able to get the drop on him here. It goes for the peak and dispatch of that one player. He was very low now. It's all on Juho. 1v1. Nearly spots out SNK, but the timing just off for him. There's still 45 seconds left, and he has plenty of time to go for the rotate here. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Plays it safe. He's up towards Brown Halls, and now it's going to be going down in towards B to get that bomb down. He doesn't have a Molotov to deny the defuse, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see him get that bomb down, and then instead of play things really passively, maybe go for a, you know, something a little bit more aggressive. And there you go. That's exactly what we're going to see.
I'm a little bit more intrigued by the plant. I get that it's a passive one, but like you said, if you're going to go aggressive, that's not really the plant you want. It doesn't really help him too much. Smoke. It's actually going to be a flash popped out from Juho. He now knows exactly where he is, however, so can make his way back towards the site. And Juho is none the wiser of his position. Will try and get himself towards the bomb, but actually very well played. The positioning does help him out in the end. I would have just liked to see, like, if you put it down on the other side of the train, you can actually just take a long-range battle from wherever he lands, but still works out in the end. Tengri will get the round. Nice clutch, very much needed from SNK. It's 9-4, however, and of course, we know there's a buy comeback for the CT side. They've got plenty of cash.
Yeah, plenty of money in the bank. They will be able to buy next round as well, regardless of the outcome of this one. And well, already you can see they've got a player down towards Ivy in the form of Pachanga once again trying to get for this wide peak, but Juho's there to deny him. Smoke's going to be down as well, so that won't allow them to gain too much ground there early on. It's just going to be a very, very slow spread out across the map, trying to forget the early pick, trying to just maintain map control. And that is what they're going to be doing. Player over towards A main as well. Now, the only issue with going for something like this is while you do lock down all the major areas of the map and deny the possibility of having someone go aggressive on that CT side, you do open yourself up to the possibility of having no one to trade for these players. When you look at it, you might have 2 over towards Ivy, but in A main, you've only got Sonic. If he, if someone pushes, he can easily be eliminated in that position. There's no one there to trade. That's the man advantage for iGame. Over towards B as well, you've only got Fidge. There is SNK nearby, but he's watching Pop. So, it's one of the weaknesses about going for this. It's great in terms of denying the aggressive plays from the CTs, but it does leave you vulnerable in terms of being traded. And, especially when you look at it, the fact that, iGame haven't really been going too aggressive. We occasionally see Sayatin go for these kind of flanks into their main, but other than that, I can't think of anyone else who's really been doing it time and time again. We've really only seen that, maybe 2 or 3 rounds out of the 14, that have been played. So it does seem a bit weird for them to go for this. Now, once again, they're going to be heading over towards B. If aim broke, don't fix it. But there's very little time left, like you say. Pachanga out towards A. He's going to be tagged down low, and he falls. And now it's the guys making their way towards B. 7's on the site. It's going to be the bomb down. He finds Fitch as well, and Tengri. They've got to save Ramzik 1v5. What the hell was going on there, Tom?
They've done exactly what they did previously. They go for some plays just waiting for some aggression from iGame, maybe expecting that their buy would have been weak after losing a round, but it literally was just like, okay, are they going to come to us? No. Okay, let's execute onto the site that we're further away from with only 30 seconds left. And the fact is, iGame, because they hadn't seen anyone, they didn't throw any of their nades. They still had a Molotov, they still had a smoke, they still had a flashbang. Just made it very, very easy for them to just go, okay, good luck. And it just ended up with them running onto the site towards the end, not knowing where any of the players were. It's sort of like that typical CIS thing almost, just like, Yeah, the timing can work wonderfully sometimes, but other times you're just going to look like a fool. And that's exactly what happened to Tengri in that round. Either way, somehow, they've managed to actually do a little bit of damage with these pistols early on. Ramzik as well pushing around the corner. We'll bring this back into actually an advantageous position in terms of the numbers on their side. The Tech 9's going to do the damage as well. And while this will be an incredible bounce back, Zori is going to get overwhelmed. And now somehow, 1 versus 3, X7's got a clutch.
And that's going to be hard with Pachanga on the flank. That's going to be him going now. 10-5 secure, and ultimately not too bad a half from Tengri. One thing I do want to take note of is we've had a very, very quiet half from Fitch. To the point where earlier when I had to say his name, I didn't even recognize him. Which, that sounds really bad. But I was like, who even is this guy? I didn't even realize he was on their team, because that's how little we've had to say his name. 3 frags right now. It's, you know, the only time you really get to talk about him is when he dies. And, you know, I'd like to see a little bit more from him. Maybe when you see something come out now that he switched over onto the CT side. Of course, one name we haven't had to worry about saying too little or too much is Ramzik. He's kind of been one of the stars over on the side of Tengri. Joined, of course, by SNK, who's having a very standout performance right now as well. Go towards iGame. Sagerton, Buho up there at the top. They've been pulling their way. Zori as well was having a very, very quiet early stage. The second they get him onto the AWP, he's been doing phenomenally well. This time, though, iGame over on the T side. They're making their way towards B. You can see they've got the Molotov on Zori and the smoke. That's to set them up out in towards this B site with the smoke, and then the Molotov to deny the defuse. And well, they're just going to go rushing on in. Smoke's not required as they make their way through in towards this site. SNK goes for the peek, and he's going to perish in that Molotov. They actually use it up early on to deny that rotate. They also deal with Pachanga on the site, leaving themselves with the 2-man advantage. Looking to dispatch of a couple more. And Sagerton, well, he's done so much damage. This is going to be iGame's round all over.
I really like the way that they played this pistol round. Very, very smart. There's 2 ways that you can use a Molotov, well, like commonly, I suppose, over on this B site. I think the one that you were referring more to was actually the bomb. Like, you wait for it later on, throw it onto the bomb, and kind of hope that they don't have a smoke. The way they utilized it, okay, there's only 1 player on this site. Let's throw it into connector. The rotation will be heavily slowed down, unless, of course, they run through it, which they did, and they die. And then you sort of go into a position now where they can rush further onto the site, take map control, and then use where those Glocks are valuable at close range. You can spam away and hit those headshots. So very nice pistol round coming out from iGame. Clearly well thought out. And Tengri didn't look like they had any hope in that pistol whatsoever.
No, not at all. They get completely locked out the site. You know, the second that happens, great utility usage from iGame. I always question picking up a Molotov. You know, in the pistol, but they make it work in a very, very creative and great way. I thought it was going to be used defensively, but the second they get into this site and have that much presence, they know they're not going to find themselves in their defensive position, right? They know they don't need to go for the passive play. They already have that 2-man advantage. They can lock the site down with the Molotov, deny the rotate, and at that point, they bought so much time. The round is ultimately theirs. This time, though, it is going to be them on the anti-eco. 7 and Juho looking to try and make some money as they both buy up the UMPs. You see Bomb just floating over here towards B, actually looking like instead it's going to make its way back over towards this A site. They've got Zori watching the aggression in through Ivy, but they have taken things very slowly. Perhaps that's a little bit to their detriment, as they don't really have a lot of information as to where Tengri are. Luckily enough for them, it looks like they want to make their way out towards A, and there are currently 3 players over towards B for Tengri, so the information not going to be there, but the luck is in their favor as they make their way towards the A site now. Only Ramzik and Fitch to hold it down. Fitch is able to get 1, but they're just going to be traded out by 7. The rotate coming on through as iGame pushing towards this A site.
The difference being they have utilized the utility quite well, but can they deal with Ramzik? Again, trusty Deagle in hand. He's doing all of the damage needed. That's a 3rd headshot in this round from him. And well, it's only going to leave 1 man left. Juho can get the first. His opposition have picked up an AK, however, and that will be the round going in the way of Tengri. A little bit of individual heroics from Ramzik will bring them another round on the board. Also give them a huge economy boost and do exactly what iGame did to them in the previous half.
Issue is, how far can individual heroics take you? Ramzik, you know, substantially kind of looking to be the stronger player on his team. And it seems like they rely on him a fair bit to pull these rounds out of the bag. And it's going to be interesting to see if the rest of his team now kind of step up to his level. It definitely looks like he's kind of above and beyond them right now. It is going to be 2 players over towards B, though, early on. They leave this bomb and 2 guys back over towards A, though, to play this lurk. Looking like they might be going for a bit of a fake. Sagerton and Saw over towards that B site. They go there early on, throw some utility, fire some bullets downstream. Now fall on back. Great thing is they haven't overextended this. They might not have been able to pull a rotate, but they haven't lost any HP. They haven't devoted too many resources down here towards B. There is still one player here in the form of Sagaton, but he's going to make his way down through Pop to split out on towards A, I imagine. Now, for the time being, 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Any minute now, at least. There you go, 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Smoke's raining on in. It's going to be the push in towards A. They're going to be going for a 3-pronged approach. Couple of players in through A main, 1 out Pop, and then 3 down Ivy. Nade just going to miss its mark. That could have done some serious damage if it was timed better, but the push is already well and truly underway. The rotates here as well. They're trying to lock down this site. Ivy's going to be falling, though, very, very quickly as Sonic goes down. Fitch on the site up close to Buster with the AK. Going to be able to find one. Looking to try and pack these stats. Gets himself a second as well. He's not going down just yet, but he can't see. Duo's shooting him in the back. He doesn't turn around, and he actually just gets taken down there. It is now all on Zore. 1v3. He's got the bomb. He's got 30 seconds left. A Tech 9 and a Dream.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very difficult. All the smoke that was previously shrouding him is completely gone. He's just got to try and find some individual jewels. Now, Ramsick will not spot him, but SNK is just ready and waiting, and this will give his position away perfectly. Actually manages to get the first, however, and is looking to try and fake this one out. If he can get the second kill, now this gets a little bit scary, but luckily SNK is there to shut things down. Zori putting on a little bit of a show and making things very costly once again, but they're still not going to be able to buy into this round, so ultimately Tengri will still convert.
Yeah, they still pick it up, but the money isn't going to be looking too great. You can see they actually had to use some of the banked cash from SNK to drop over towards one of his teammates. They will have another buy, but the money's still very low. And, you know, the Glock shouldn't be able to do too much in this round. But if they can get this bomb down over towards B, I imagine that's what we're just going to see. Is just
they got one
this
smoke.
Flat out.
What
Yeah, exactly. Oh, instead, I mean, one of them tries to go down. Bob Saw just offers himself to the god that is Ramsick there. And now they go in for this push. They don't use the smoke. That nade's going to do so much damage. And oh, it's SNK and Pachang.
The smoke bounced over the... That is one of the most unlucky things I've seen in a long time. He throws the smoke to stop the Molotov, and it bounced over it.
Oh, yeah, no, I just saw that. I just watched it back.
What? Counter-Strike, come on!
You gotta feel bad for him, right? It was a sick trick, though. Like, let's give him that. He could do a series. Smoke tricks.
Smoke tricks, bouncing it off fire.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be too happy with that trick, though. He just basically might as well have bought a decoy. Oh, God. That's a horrible way for things to go. Luckily, it was only a Glock round, so it hasn't cost them anything too major. They are still going to have a buyer going back into this one. Zori actually with the glass cannon AWP, so he's going to be extra vulnerable to nades. And has to be a little bit more careful in the way he plays this round. They're actually going to go for a little boost here. I like this.
Ooh, I like this boost. That is going to allow him to see over the top of the smoke. Now, Pachanga does find one over towards B as he goes aggressive. But this boost over the top of the smoke could yield the equalizing frag. That flash going to go out. Sonic doesn't use that to peek, though, interestingly enough. Saw meanwhile that towards A deals with Ramsick. That's kind of the star player down. But the side of Tengri, now they're going to be trying to go for this aggression in towards Ivy and Sonic. He's going to be able to get that frag. The flash does land, and that renders Zora useless. Now, Fitch on the flank. Able to take down Saw, leaving it into a 2-on-4 now. They get completely locked out of A. Zore doesn't have armor either. They still want to try and commit. Sagaton, he goes out for the peak, but Fitch quicker on the trigger, forces him back. You can see now he's trying to go for the aggression. Fitch just looking under the train, spotting for the information here. Molotov's going to go down to delay the push as well. Flash is coming on in, but Fitch, he's still a huge threat. He's going to find himself another, looking for a third, and Zore's tagged down extremely low, and he's just going to have to think about saving, but Pachanga doesn't want to let that happen. He started off as the lurk killer, but now he's converted into the king of the lurkers, as Zore does deal with Sonic. At least Pachanga looks to try and pick this up. There's no armor on Zore, so he can't afford to miss. And Tengri, they're just going to wait for that timer to disappear. Then they're all going to go for the push so he doesn't get any money. And Zore, you are in a lot of trouble, my friend. That's going to ruin the economy of iGame. And this could be Tengri's foot in the door to make their way back into this.
I like that. Not a lot of teams do that too often, where they just wait out the time and go, okay, we know we can kill him after round. Let's really, like, kick him down. And that was a really brutal way to hurt the iGame economy. And I think a lot of that round came down to just not utilizing Saw as a player. Like, his position was so valuable. That's where you should have more players pushing towards A, because he's so far up. Instead, they lose the pick over towards Ivy, which, yeah, he could have helped with. But then he gets pushed from behind, and then that position is completely lost. They lose any advantage they have, and the round just, well, falls apart. 4 versus 2, you can't expect them to win that. Unfortunately, it just ended in such a horrific way. Now, going into the next round, they will have max loss bonus. If they can get a bomb down here, then they've saved Zori from not having to, well, sort of skimp.
So they do switch things up and decide B is not for them. And instead they make their way back over here towards A. Now, I haven't seen iGame have a lot of success over towards this A, right? But 3 players at Ivy. And Sonic just waiting with a smoke. He's gonna throw it down. The timing was impeccable on that. Good job, Sonic. For that, now the push coming on in, and while he's over towards Ivy, here's these footsteps coming on in. Gio's gonna get boosted, but then dealt with very, very swiftly by Sonic, who finds himself a second, switches things out, and the USP goes out for the white P, gonna get 3, looking for a 4th. He's done insane damage. Fitch gets jumped on by that P250. SNK finds another, and then there's Ramzik on the rotate, but all of that was Sonic to lock that down. That push could have done a lot of damage coming in from IEN. They were in a good kind of position to make it happen. 2 players out to remain, 3 out through Ivy, but Sonic says no. And he says, you know, if you guys think you can go faster, I can go faster.
Oh, God.
And there we go.
Is he rolling around at the speed of sound? Has he got places to go? You know?
Yeah.
That whole one. Yeah, not heard that one before. Zori is just going to be on a Tech 9. Obviously, we know how powerful this weapon can be, but look at the aggression coming out from Ramzik. He's actually going to stand in the Molotov. Okay. He's gone down to 12 HP. He's now stuck in the corner as well. This could be perfect for Zori if he can get away with this AWP. And, well, Sagaton's going to rip his head straight off, leaving that AWP just sat on the floor. Zori's going to be like, oh, did you know I couldn't afford a gun? You just going to give me one? Thanks, buddy. And, whoa. Sagaton's going to stop any further aggression from the CT side. They try and come back into this round, and one man completely denies them.
So now they have this 2-man advantage. Just where do they go from it? Where do they go with it from here? There we go. Words coming out in the correct order this time. And, well, I mean, you know, right now in Tengri, they're playing this fairly safe. 2 players at towards A, and they lose Fitch in at B. Now, if they go for the peak for info, they're going to find out very, very quickly that this B site is entirely ripe for the taking. SNK on the rotate to try and deny it. He's going to get Molotov'd out. Now he has to commit to the site play. He's going to find himself in here alone. And, oh, my God, the Molotov's just raining on in through the fire and flames, able to escape. But Juho's on the flank. SNK thinks he's made it out of the napalm central, quickly finds himself faced with Juho on the flank, who picks up a second. Sonic going to go down as well, and that's going to be a 12-10 scoreline secured now for iGame. Tengri, they have plenty of money in the bank. They will be able to buy on down once more, but they are on the verge of having their economy reset.
Yeah, it does look like the aggression, at least over on B site, may just be a straight no for the Tengri side. They try, obviously, the initial pick. A little bit of a weird one coming out from Ramzik to stand in that Molotov, but then him going down and them trying to refrag it just doesn't work. And, well, you could see the change. He switches position, goes back over towards A main, gets the first pick, but you have to take into consideration 2 players on this CT side are very, very low. So this round isn't anywhere near done yet.
Definitely not. Fitch, just a few breaths away from death, clinging on. He has to limp around now. He finds himself only on 9 HP. A whisper in the right direction where they deal with him. SNK afterwards, B, they're looking to try and slow down this push, gets flashed on out. Pachanga's going to be holding down the site. He has to watch out for Sancton up here, though. He deals with one. SNK playing over towards the boost. 7 goes aggressive. Here's out Ramzik. Deals with him as well. Falls on back. Looking to try and play things safely. And this is where the low HP on these players is going to be coming into this in a big way. SNK, though, no one knows he's here. And this could be very bad. He's going to get 1. Looking for a second. But Sagaton, who's already on 2, now on 3. Able to deal with SNK. It's all on Fitch. 9 HP and a dream over towards that flank. Up through Pop Dog. And he's going to fall on back. Opting to play things safely. And him saving up this rifle could mean they can go for a force into the next round. SNK is going to have enough to buy. Ramzik and Sonic can actually pick up a UMP or a FAMAS each, and they'll have the M4 to play around with. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see them go for the force. you know, there's reasons both for and against. You can alternatively just stick Fitch solo over towards B, leave everyone else to stack A. We're even going to see one of the two because the economy on iGame doesn't really warrant force buying. It's not like they're going to ruin it, right, if they find a couple of frags. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do decide to go for here.
I think, from my perspective, I'd want them to save. Just if it was a first-round loss, then I wouldn't mind it as much. But because they're going to get 2,400 into the next round, I don't think this is too bad at all. Okay, this is just weird. This buy is even weirder than anything I could have thought up. So what they do is they buy an AWP for Ramzik and then just have everybody else save money. It's quite odd, actually, because it means in the next round they're still not going to have a buy unless they somehow manage to save these. Well, this is a really, really risky play. Like, I'm all for, like, a Catalyst AWP if none of your players can buy, or if you all go together, or if you save it. But to just buy one, that's risky as hell. And, hey, clearly they've got confidence in Ramzik. But if they lose this round, they're going to be putting themselves up against match point with very, very little to play with.
They must have something, though, in the old Tengri think tank. Let's see if it does pay off. You can see they've got Sonic over here. He's gone quite aggressive. He's going to be holding the angle. Flash goes out. Doesn't blind him. He's going to go for the peak, but Juho does have the devastating, fully automatic death in his hand. Sonic now playing the corner. Juho's got to know he's there, right? You know, it should be fairly obvious that that's where he's playing. Ramzik now rotating around, though. They can go for the bait and switch here, right? Ramzik goes for the peak. If he gets taken out, Sonic should be able to get the trade as he kind of draws the aggression in. He doesn't know what side Juho's on, though, and Bomb's making its way slowly but surely out through mid as well. They lose Sagerton over towards B. That's going to be very bad. That can be a rifle picked up now for Pachanga. Suddenly they're accumulating some weapons over on the CT side. Juho's going to get the trade into Sonic, and that's going to allow them to make their way through Ivy. Best and Cap close to nice that bomb plot. He falls back, looking to try and play things safely. Seven has to deal with him. Finally gets the trade. There's not a lot of time left, but they will be able to get the bomb down just in the nick of time. Tom, I know that was scary, but they're going to be able to get it. Pachanga with the AK. What's he doing? He's going to be able to find one. Finds two. Pachanga might have just done this. Now it's all on 7 from nothing. Tengri, they pick up a round. 7's already falling on back to save, and that is going to be it. It's going to be another round for Tengri. It's a round they should have not have had, in all honesty, but a nice bit of individual play from Pachanga. Not only to find the AK in the first place, but, you know, with the frag on a Sagerton, to then take it with no armor to find a consecutive 2 to take you to 3. That is marvelous. 13 to 11 secured. As Tengri, they show no signs of slowing down just yet.
The best thing about that is it wasn't even the players with the rifles that did the damage. But Chang, I have to question, was that Sagerton's flash that blinded him at the beginning of the round? Like, for him to die over on ramp? Because I didn't see anybody buying a flash over on the Tengri side of things. So I wonder if he actually flashed himself, got killed, and then that rifle actually ended the round for his team. So I'm very, very surprised that Tengri actually managed to pull that one off. Have to give props over to the CTs, but at the same time, a round like that should not be won. iGame have made mistakes, and if they lose this round, yeah, they still got X7 with plenty of cash, but the rest of the team, that's where things get a little bit sketchy. Sonic just about gets away with that one. 13 HP, the AWP of Zori will do a lot of damage. But this game just got a hell of a lot closer thanks to that round.
Not to ruin the immersion, but some roadman just walked by my house playing rap music extremely loud. So I'm glad that you carried the hell out of that just then, or else we would have heard profanities. And oh, speaking of profanities, it's going to be dirty from Zora, who goes for that peak, finds Pachanga. And that's going to be an early man advantage here for iGame. They've also got Sonic tagged down extremely low after he somehow survived that $1 million wound early on from Zora. Now he wants to go out for another peek. That flash going to land perfectly, does deny him. Ramzik does miss the follow-up shot, though. Not Ramzik, sorry. Fitch misses the follow-up shot with the AWP. And now you can see iGame, they're making their way in towards the A site. Fitch is here with the AWP, locked into a very forward position. He's here alone. Tries to find one, misses that shot. SNK is now here to back him up, but they're just crawling onto the site. It's going to be very, very hard for Tengri to close this one down. Saul gets the bomb down. Oh, a nice pivot to deal with Fitch as well. It's a 2-man advantage secured for the T side, and iGame, they show no signs of giving up this site. It looks like it's just going to be another save on the cards at this point. Tengri already admitting defeat. They fall on back. And I mean, Saw with that 180, that was insane. Not only does he get the bomb down because he's just a team player, but he also lands that nice 180 flick shot, and that's going to cement them their 14th round.
I want to give props to him for the shot, but that is the second round in a row that they have gone for a bomb plant where there is someone standing on the site. Last round, it was one of the reasons they lost the round, because he got killed by SNK on the site. So, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, he just has no fear. He just has no problem just going, yeah, there's probably people here, let's just plant the bomb anyway. Luckily, this time, he can just 180 headshot someone and finish off the round, but still, very, very risky plays.
No, I have to agree. Their bomb plant logic is extremely weird. They're just like, site might be infested with Tengri players. I don't care. I'm here for the bomb plant. I'm here for the points. Yeah, exactly. There's no one to trade. There's no one there to help. But he gets the bomb down. He dies a martyr if he does go down with the bomb. He doesn't care. But here we go. It is going to be another round. As now this time iGame, they're making it always be a much, much faster round coming out from the SNKs here posted up. But he's going to be biting the dust as Sagerton goes for that peek. Now Sagerton's on 1 HP, barely clutching on at the Realms of Light. Pachanga's going to try and lock down the site, unable to get one as the trade comes through thick and heavy. The man advantage secured right now for iGame. They're poised to pick up a 15th and arrive at match point unless Tengri can come in for the retake. Already, it's a very slow retake. They don't have a lot of time left. Bomb's been taken out for a while, and Zori's posted up with that AWP in such a devastating position. He's able to dispatch of Fitch, leaving now at 2-on-4. Sagerton might be 1 HP, but they're not even going to be able to exploit this. Ramsey through the smoke, though, to find one. He's showing that Tengri aren't ready to give this up just yet, but at this point, they're taking so much time on the retake, Tom. I don't think they've got time to do this.
Yeah, I think they should have fallen back a little while ago and just kept these weapons into the next round. They aren't going to smash the economy of iGame anytime soon, especially if they keep winning rounds. And, well, I think... Oh, actually, Sagerton does go down to the bomb. Really? Okay. Okay, he doesn't get the orb, but still managing to do a nice bit of damage. As said, they will be able to buy no matter what. Just padding stats a little bit towards the end of the round, but... Yeah, I think one thing that has to be mentioned is the utilage of Molotovs by iGame has been very, very good. That connector stayed
Is that
Molotov.
a word?
Yeah.
Utilage.
I think it is.
It doesn't feel right to me. It sounds
It's
like it means
utilization.
sewage. I think that's the word.
Either way, I like it. If okay, not, it is now a word.
Utilage.
But, continuing that on, I think they actually had 2 or 3 Molotovs thrown over towards that connector just to slow down any chance of them getting back onto the site without like wasting, obviously, like 15 seconds that they had to just sit there while it burned. Either way, B-site seems to be the place they want to go at the moment.
Yeah, I can't say I blame them as they rush on in. 7 finally finds that frag. It only took 20 bullets. Jesus. Not quite going to be going his way. What's that to say? Jesus. Now it's going to be a 2-on-4 as they quickly dispatch of all 3 Tengri players locking down this site. The rotate coming on in from Ramzik and Sonic. Sonic's got to go fast, and that's exactly what he's doing. He makes his way on around from behind. That smoke's going to be there to deny him pushing through just yet. Ramzik finds himself alone, going to be isolated by 7. Now it's 1. Sonic goes out for the push, and 7 finds himself a 4th frag, just dominating there in that final round. A 16-11 scoreline secured. It was looking like Tengri could have had their comeback there, forged in the fire and flames. But sadly, it is going to be iGame picking that one up. We will be going into map number 2 very shortly. Tom, do you have any closing thoughts on this one? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Any closing thoughts?
I think I want to give props to like the utility usage towards the end, and in all honesty, I think like Tengri, a lot of even the rounds they got on the T side were a little bit lucky. They do need some work. CT side looked better, but the second they got upset a little bit, and the second the holes were found by iGame, it did seem like everything just fell apart a little bit. So definitely going to want to see how they work on Cobble. Of course, it wasn't their map pick. This was the pick of iGame. So going on to the second map, expecting a little bit better from them. This isn't a map that they don't like not play it, but I don't think it's one of their better ones, so looking forward to them. And of course, well, a lot of the sort of Kazakhstanian players do link up with that CIS region, and we know that Cobblestone's always going to be a good map for them. Either way, we are going to be heading off to a short break, and we'll be back with map number 2 in just a moment.